So, Hare Krishna devotees, today we are going to see a very interesting chapter today. So, we are going to see the 16th chapter, and before we start off with the chapter, let's start off with the Mangala Charan, right? Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Anyanatimirandasya Jnananjala Chalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Dadati Swapadatikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopeshu Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanusute Devi Pranamani Hari Priye Vancha Kalpadarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vatsadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna devotees. So can you see the screen? Okay. Right. Today I told you it's an interesting one. So what are we going to see? Just 1 second. Today it's called the divine and the demonic qualities. Right? What are the qualities we have, what we should get rid of, and what we should get more, to go to Krishna. So it's called Deva, Asura, Sampad, Vibhaga, Yoga. Asura you all know, and Sura is opposite of that. So Deva is divine, Asura is the demonic quality. So all ready? So who's going to read today? Of course, 2-3 of you all can actually share and read as well. So you can start off with reading. The first one I'll read, Hare Krishna. Yeah, sure, Ritu. First one I'll read, Hare Krishna. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, so this is also for a change, Krishna is starting. Just like in the 15th chapter, I told Krishna is starting. And most of the chapters, starts with our Arjuna. And what does he say? The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, fearless purification of one's existence. Just 1 second. Fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, performance of sacrifice, study of Vedas, austerities, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault-finding, compassion for all living entities, freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, and freedom from envy, and from the passion for honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharata, belong to the godly men endowed with divine qualities. So very clearly saying that these are qualities of the divine qualities, right? We were seeing divine qualities and demonic, right? So these are divine qualities. So here between 1 and 6, we are going to see the transcendental, which is spiritual and demonic qualities. So both divine and demonic qualities will be covered here. And 7 to 20 is long chapter, depth of demonic nature, right? The number of qualities for them, for divine is very high. The number of demonic is very low, but the power of negativity is so high here, right? So that is why we are looking to get rid of them. 16.21 to 24, the choice, escaping to supreme destination. That's a choice we have, how we can escape to supreme destination. So now we are going to see, we saw the qualities, right? So let's have a quick recap of all this, which we have already read, right? So we've seen all this fearlessness, right? Especially Kshatriyas, these are things which, and even Brahmanas, why should they have fearlessness? Because when they go and they are alone, if they have fear, they won't be able to even do renunciation. Charity, austerity, and all should never be given up at any point in time, right? Study of Vedas. If any person thinks that Vedas are man-made, he's called the Muda, he's foolish, right? And therefore, we have to understand the level of Vedas. Non-violence is ahimsa. We already saw all these qualities where if you are genuine, you should not even think of two things. One is mentally thinking bad is also harmful for someone. And Atmaha, which I told, killer of the soul. Krishna is required for the soul. Soul needs Krishna, and we need to give Krishna to the soul. So that is very important. Truthfulness, if you have the guts to tell the enemy the truth, that is called simplicity, and we've seen that too. So these are the things which we saw, and I will now, go to the demonic one. Hare Krishna. Dambo darpa abhimanascha krodha paryusham evacha jnanam chabhijatasya pata sampadam asurim. Hare Krishna. You can read it.
Arrogance, pride, anger, conceit, harshness, and ignorance. These qualities belong to those of demonic nature, O son of Partha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So clearly they are saying arrogance, right? So all these qualities, arrogance, pride. So pride, even here we say it's very bad, right? And ahankar. So that is where all this is coming from. And anger, this anger, many people say that I can't control my anger. And anger not only destroys the other enemy, before it destroys the enemy, it destroys yourself. Because when someone is very angry, there's a lot of heat even scientifically on the head of the person, right? So that creates a lot of stress. Ritu, Hare Krishna, I love your honest admission that you have all this. Actually, all of us will have all of this in minute qualities. The idea of we doing Ma Mantra is that, we'll slowly reduce the quantum. So as of now, we are like Kichadi. It's not that we are independent. It's not that I will have only divine and you will have only Asurik or vice versa, right? So it's going to be, all of us will have a portion of divine and Asurik. Because this is Kali Yuga, and we will have both the Ram and Ravan are not going to be in two different states. They're all going to be in the same heart, right? So we are going to have Krishna also in our heart. We are also having Kamsa in our heart. So now our idea is how we can get, them out. How do we have only Arjuna? How do we have only Krishna kind of people here? And how do we have Krishna? Not just, Kamsa, Duryodhana, and how we can slowly get them out, right? Conceit. Next, harshness, right? And ignorance. These qualities belong to the demonic nature, O son of Pritha. And Pritha is the name of Kunti, right? So you can see this elephant. Oh. So next, moving on to 16.5. Hare Krishna. Devi Sampad Vimokshaya Nibandaya Surimata Ma Saucho Sampadam Devim Abhijato Si Pandava. Hare Krishna.
The transcendental qualities are conducive to liberation, whereas the demonic qualities make for bondage. Do not worry, O son of Pandu, for you are born with divine qualities. Hare Krishna.
Very clearly, they are saying, right? This is not a great rocket science. We all know very clearly that, the transcendental qualities are very conducive, right? They're going to help us to get, liberated automatically. Whereas if you're talking about demonic qualities, all these demonic qualities, look at the picture, that are going to tie you, bind you more here. So what tied Ravana and Hiranyakashipu? Not only demonic, it's just that they wanted to have control over money and other stuff. And the next level, it went to the fact that they wanted to, also have control over people. Ravana wanted to control Sita. Hiranyakashipu wanted to control everyone, including, the Devatas, the heat, the sun. They were scared of Hiranyakashipu. He's saying, do not worry, O son of Partha, for you are born with divine qualities, right? So Arjuna, see, one more, so many reasons as to why Krishna chose Arjuna is slowly, evolving in entire Bhagavad Gita, right? So every line he says, oh, sinless. Can you see, oh, you are born with divine qualities. So many things, you are bringing it up. So that's the speciality. So let's hear 16.6. Hare Krishna. Yeah, you can read.
O son of Partha, O son of Pritha, in this world there are two kinds of created beings. One is called the divine and the other demonic. I have already explained to you at length the divine qualities. Now hear from me of the demoniac.
So very clearly the divine qualities he gave, right? The whole list of 26 divine quality and demonic quality here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it's not just 6, but the 6 is good to ruin the divine quality. So slowly we should try and reduce them. So now here from the demonic quality. So he's going to tell how these 6 qualities are so stressful and so negatively powerful. So let's see what 16.7 says. Hare Krishna. Pravritim cha nivritim cha janana vidur ashuraha na saucham na pichacharo na satyam teshu vidyate. Hare Krishna.
Those who are demoniac do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness nor proper behavior nor truth is found in them. Hare Krishna.
Pravritam nivritim. Pravritam is what we should do and nivritam is what you should not do. So what they are clearly telling is that demonic quality people, they do not know what is to be done and what not to be done, right? To do and not to do. They just don't know. They are so confused. Because why? Because they are unclean, not only from outside, but also inside. And there is no proper behavior and you can't see them in truth. Why gambling is prohibited? Because you don't see honesty or truth in a place of fraud, right? So let's see further what he describes. 16.8. Asatyam apratishtam te jagat ahuranishwaram aparaspara sambhutam kimanyat kama khaitukam. Hare Krishna.
They say that this world is unreal, that there is no foundation, that there is no God in control. It is produced of sex desire and has no other cause other than lust. Hare Krishna.
So what are they saying? They're talking about atheistic statements, and which is why they say when we are a neophyte. Neophyte means you're a beginner. We should never interact or even try and convince people to read or push them into Bhagavad Gita. Why? Because they will influence us with their atheistic thought, right? They say there is no foundation, there is no God. All these talks, pep talks keep coming. And what does 16.9 say? So let's see what it says. Go ahead and read it. Hare Krishna.
Following such conclusions, the demoniac who are lost to themselves and who have no intelligence engage in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So very clearly they're saying, following the conclusion, the demoniac, right, they lose themselves. They have no intelligence, right? So they don't believe in Bhagavad Gita, they don't believe in God, they don't even believe in Shastras. And what happens is because of which they engage in unbeneficial, horrible work. See, if you think there is only one life, and if you're thinking in a very negative way, you will want to enjoy the maximum out of it. You don't believe in karma, you don't believe in rebirth, so you will not care, right? I can take a knife and poke a person. Where will more things come? Only when you have a principle in mind, right? If there is no jail, if there is no police station, you'll say, I'll get away with it. Whichever jail you're talking about, whether it's the law of the nation or law of the world, people will say, Hare, kya yaar? It doesn't matter, right? How does it matter? That will be the kind of stuff which they will. So let's read point 10. Hare Krishna. Yeah, you can go ahead now.
The demoniac, taking shelter of insatiable lust, pride, and false prestige, and being thus illusioned, are always sworn to unclean work, attracted by the impermanence. Hare Krishna.
So they're saying the demonic, they take shelter of the insatiable lust, right? lust is there, and they are so lusty because they have such negative thing. They have pride. If you see charity they do it only for pride and false prestige, and they are always in illusion, and they are attracted.
Ido, like me up.
And let me just
Shades nondige.
Hare Krishna, can you all mute from behind? Yeah. Oh, they're talking about okay, they're talking about demonic. What do? They are where was I? Yeah. So they were talking about the very thought of the demonic is to, to have those kind of attraction towards impermanent thing. Nothing is permanent in the world, but they are so attracted to all these impermanent stuff. So that is a quality of the demons, right? And let's read what 6.11 and 12 have to say. Please go ahead. You can read now.
They believe that to gratify the senses unto the end of life is the prime necessity of human civilization. Thus, there is no end to their anxiety. Being bound by hundreds and thousands of desires, by lust and anger, they secure money by illegal means for self gratification. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So according to them, human life and human civilization is something to satisfy the senses, right? So once you get into sense gratification, you'll just have no end to anxiety, right? I came across a devotee who said, I don't know whether I'll be born as an animal or whether I'll be born as a human, but how does it matter to me? If I'm born as an animal, I won't remember, right? So how do I care? I will continue to do what I want. So can you see the way in which the thought is, right? So it's like completely aesthetic, atheistic. Yeah, not atheistic, right? And what is the risk of them? They will constantly be in anxiety because they will be in the mission of, accumulating wealth, all that, being bound by hundreds and thousands of desires, because that desire will never get over. Desire is just not for money, it will go on and on. It will not end at all. And by lust and anger, they secure money by illegal means, right? So even Nectar of Instruction 2 says that Atyahara, right? Prahachasya prajalpo bhayamagagah janasangal salaulyam cha sadbhir bhaktir vinashyati. So basically, Atyahara means that they are into collection, right? They are either into constantly accumulating something, is one more concept of Atyahara. So they will go on, and they will never be satisfied. That is mentioned there. So what does 16.13 and 15 talk about? Before we read, can you all spot the picture? First picture, can anyone say? You can say or you can type. What does that denote?
Prahlad Maharaj.
Perfect. Prahlad Maharaj and Hiranyakashipu. And this one everybody knows. The bottom picture everybody can guess. Already name is there.
Sita and Ravan.
Yeah, Sita and Ravan. When Ravan, he comes disguised as a sannyasi, right? And on the top right,
Devaki and Kamsa.
correct. So it is who? Correct, you're right, Devaki. So Devaki and Vasudeva, right? And Kamsa is taking, I think that's a picture, right? Let me just have a look. Yeah. Kamsa is literally planning to behead this sister. Right, so that's the scene. So now you can read Hare Krishna.
The demoniac person thinks, so much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my schemes. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future, more and more. He is my enemy, and I have killed him. And my other enemy will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the richest man, surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifices. I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So now you can see, right? The demonic person thinks that he has so much of wealth today. He doesn't understand that one small accident is going to make him flat, right? Even a high heart pumping rate of the heart can result in heart attack, right? He may probably die even before being taken to the hospital, but none of this comes to the mind, right? He thinks he's a Lord, he's the enjoyer, he's perfect, He is powerful and happy. Have you seen a few of them you will come across? I don't know. I have come across specifically people who say, I am God. I am God. Have you come across? They may tell hilariously or they may tell seriously, doesn't matter. But you can see a lot of asuric and aesthetic quality in all of them, right? Have you seen that? Right? I've come across some characters who says, I am God, right? And Prabhupada says, forget God, you can't even be equal to dog, right? In fact, I don't like personally being criticized because sometimes I feel dogs are more loyal, right, than human. Oh, Ritu, thanks, Hare Krishna. Thanks for sharing your experience. So I come across. So what is their feeling? They feel that money can buy. There is this arrogance. They may tell, as I say, hilariously or seriously, but inside of them, there is a demon. He says, I shall perform sacrifices. I shall give some charity and thus I shall rejoice. Right? In that way, such persons are deluded by ignorance. Right? There is absolute ignorance in that person. So that is very clearly mentioned by Krishna. So let's read 16.16 what it says. Yeah, go ahead. Just 1 second, ma. And also you can see whatever they do, right? I was telling the sacrifice and charity. We're going to read in length in the coming chapters. But these people do charity. You will be wondering why. That is pious? No, it's for their name, right? So they will do. There are some celebrities who say, it seems like in the big bars and drink, they say that today, I am going to host a party. I'm going to not only party, they will say on the house, right? So that is nothing but charity. But why do they say do that? It's because they want that popularity, right? So there is a motive in it. It's not that, they are feeding the poor or, or they want to do something. Hare Krishna, oh sorry, this voice issue has started. Right? So you have some of them who say that on the house and they sponsor treats and all that is because they continue to do charities to show their power, not to take care of someone. So they won't come under pious, they will come under the demonic quality. Hare Krishna, 16.16. I think now it's clear, no? Yeah. 16.16, you can read.
Thus perplexed by various anxieties and bound by a network of illusions, one becomes too strongly attached to sense enjoyment and falls down to hell. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So what they say that thus perplexed by various anxieties, right? These people are constantly on anxiety, right? There is endless requirement, money, power, it will go on. And because of that, what happens? They keep chasing all this and they are continuously anxious. They are so much bound that they become so strongly attached to the sense enjoyment. They finally fall into the deep hell, right? There is absolutely no way they can be rescued. And what does 16.18 say? We'll just see. And before you tell, can you, of course, we've done this, but can you check the power? I mean, can you tell me the picture on your right? Can you recall? We've seen this picture, we've discussed. Is who? Can anyone guess who's in the picture?
Can I just?
Sorry, dear, I can't hear you.
Shishupal and Krishna.
Yeah, Shishupal and Krishna. And can you recall which place it is? When was this?
That Yagya Mandap.
Correct. Rajasurya Yagya, right? So that is Indraprastha. When Yudhishthira was taken as a king, he wanted to give his first respect to Krishna. And Shishupal objected. Why? Because he was very jealous of Krishna. And Shishupal had a chance 100 times. Yeah, Rajasurya. Thanks, Sangram. Yes. So he had the chance to, curse Krishna less than 100 times. So the moment he crosses 100 times, that's it. He will be beheaded. That's a promise Krishna had given to his aunt, who is Shishupal's mother. So now you can read the 16.18. Hare Krishna.
Bewildered by false ego, strength, pride, lust, and anger, the demon becomes envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in his own body and in the bodies of others, and blasphemes against the real religion. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So very clearly, the irony is the demons are actually envious of the Supreme Personality and they curse him. And the Supreme Personality is in his own body, right? He's in his own heart. And, and he's baptizing him. That's a funny part of it, right? He's in his own heart. In spite of that, he is going on cursing him. So that's his level of knowledge. So let's see what 16.19 Krishna has to say. Yeah, please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, are cast by me into the ocean of material existence, into various demoniac species of life. Hare Krishna.
In the 7th chapter, we saw 4 kinds of men, of which Naradama, we already read the quality, which is the lowest among the men. Right? So they are saying those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest, right, are cast by me into the ocean of material. So they are pushed back into material existence. Why? People want Krishna, he will give Krishna. But if people do not want Krishna, why will he tell, okay, come? Because these people go to the spiritual world, will cause more disturbance and more problem to them, right? So Krishna gives them this material world again, but also gives a very suitable body apt to play the role of the villain character, right? So that's what he says. Let's say what is the actual depth of it from 16.20. Hare Krishna.
Attaining repeated birth amongst the species of demoniac life, such persons can never approach me. Gradually they sink down to the most abominable type of existence. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Krishna is telling that attaining this repeated birth again and again and again, right? Such person can never approach me. They will never be able to approach. So what happens? They keep going on down towards the animal life. They first go and do their life sentence or whatever sentence they have to do in hell. And after that also they don't do, they, come back to the animalistic propensity. So that is what they are saying. So let's see in 16.21 what it says. After a long time for me to chant Hare Krishna. Aividam narakashyedam dvaram nashanam atmanah kamah krodas tathalobas tasmad etatrayam tyajet. Hare Krishna.
There are 3 gates leading to this hell: lust, anger, and greed. Every sane man should give these up, for they lead to the degradation of soul. Hare Krishna.
So very clearly they're saying there are 3 gates to hell, right? Last time also we saw royal, right, road to hell. Now there are 3 gates. What are the 3 gates which takes one to hell? Lust. So lust means any kind of desire, right? Anger and greed, right? You can have greed for what? For Krishna, laulyam. That is a qualification for Krishna. But if you have any other greed, right, Krishna has provided for everyone's need, not for their greed. Right? Every sane man must give up this, for they lead to the degradation of soul. Right? How can you give up? It is very difficult to give up anything. That is why we say chorna nahi jorna. You involve Krishna in everything. Whatever action you do, automatically your unwanted desires come down and you get elevated to the next level. So, and let's see what Krishna is telling in such a case, what happens in 16.22. Yeah, you can read.
The man who has escaped these 3 gates of hell, O son of Kundi, performs acts conducive to self-realization and thus gradually attains the supreme destination. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Yes, Ritu, I'll address your question at the end. I'll finish this if it's okay. The man who has escaped, right? Whoever has run out of it, whoever has escaped, performs act conducive to self-realization. And thus, so therefore, we saw Dhira, Uttamadhigari, all of that. And thus he gradually attains the supreme destination, right? He is very clearly told that he will reach, that he will be reaching the supreme destination, right? Why? How? Because of the fact that he's already gotten it. Already he's liberated soul here. And he has no more interest for material world and he wants to go to Krishna, right? So what happens after the body, right? So there is this mantra which goes like this: Vayur anilam amritam ashesham bhashmantam shariram om krito smara kritam shmara krito shmara kritam shmara. These are beautiful prayers offered by great devotees where they say this body is going to turn into ashes. That's fine. But Krishna, please, in case I forget you, right, just give me your remembrance. Because why? We already saw Antakale, right? Whatever you remember at the final stages, what's going to happen? So he says, okay, if I'm going to be dead, it's fine. But then, please make sure that I remember you. And, see, anyway, even if you don't remember, Krishna will remember. He's not going to forget what you have done. But still he's telling that, please remember me, at the time, please give me the remembrance to remember me. Such a beautiful prayer he is offering, because this shariram will become bhashmam. It's going to go into ashes. So that is what he's saying. Such people automatically, what will Krishna do? He will personally come and deliver them. You can see right there, you see Krishna stretching. He personally comes down and delivers such people who's fond of Krishna. So let's see what 16.23 says. Hare Krishna. Yaha shastra vidim uchrija vartate kama karatah nasa siddhim avapnoti na sukam na param gatim. Hare Krishna.
But he who discards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme destination. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, this is a classic example of people who will come and tell, I like God, I believe in God, I go to temple, but I don't believe in Vedas. This is like, I like my mom, but I just won't like to see her face, or I won't listen to her. I won't even, show my face to her, or I won't put my ears on her. How does it sound? It sounds weird, right? We may not listen all of it. That's a different story. But if it's just not even going to listen, that means you're not even giving respect. And where there is no respect, there is no relationship. Where there is no relationship, there can never be love, right? So if someone says, I don't believe in scriptures, I don't believe in, all this, then these are not the right thing, right? These are not the right person, right? So these are just very stupid things. So the person will never reach the supreme destination. So let's hear what 16.24 says. Hare Krishna. Tasmak chastram pramanam te karya vyavastito Nyatva shastra vidanokam karma kartum miharhasi. Hare Krishna.
One should understand what is duty and what is not duty by the regulations of the scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulations, one should act so that he may gradually be elevated. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So what are they saying? He's telling that one should understand what to be. I've already told pravriti and nivritti, to do and not to do. So one must understand what is to be done and what should not be done, right? What is duty, what is not duty. We already saw, right, in the initial chapters, in the first 6 chapters, very clearly Krishna says that it's better you do your own duty rather than doing somebody else's duty. So we should first understand what is duty and what is not our duty. By knowing the rules, one has, if they follow, even the Varnashra system, what has happened in the 4th chapter, right? Very beautifully, Arjuna will ask, Krishna, how will they reach, how will they reach you? Krishna says, no, I will reciprocate according to their desire, right? Whatever people are, to that extent, I will reciprocate. Oh, Krishna, then why do people pray demigods? Krishna says, why? Because people want quick results. So demigods give quick results. Oh, Krishna, then if they pray demigods, then how can they ever reach you? Krishna says, don't worry, they can follow Varnashram and they will get purified, right? So that is where it's coming up. So you follow your own duty and automatically there is going to be purification. So he says automatically there will be purification. So it is not that, you follow the thing and you will not be purified. So one has to understand the duty, and by following the prescribed duty, he gets purified. So with this, we are understanding the divine and demonic quality. Before I take you further, let me explain and answer. If there are any other questions, keep typing in the chat. Let me address. How do you stop feeling envious? It is very difficult for, not only that, any quality, harshness, anger, nothing is easy to get rid of. But what is Krishna saying? Krishna is saying the very purpose of us to get rid of all this is a must, because if we are not getting rid, our progress is difficult. So that is why, we don't need to put extra efforts. We are automatically doing Ma Mantra because all this quality will naturally come down. See there is a very funny saying, which I heard when I was little, right? It's like, it goes like this. It's like, a beggar is never jealous of the rich. He is always jealous of the rich beggar. Have you noticed? So whom do we actually feel envy about? Somebody whom you're in line with, right? You don't feel envy of the Prime Minister. You don't feel envious of Mother Teresa. Why? Because you don't compare. So you are thinking of somebody at your level. And how do you define envy? My guru's spiritual master told, it is the quality. There is something in a person I like, but I don't like that person having it. That is envy, right? You like the quality, you like the nature, you like everything about that, the person. For example, Shishupal, every quality of Krishna, Shishupal liked, but what he did not like is the fact that Krishna having that quality is what he could not tolerate, right? So that is the nature, that is the quality which he didn't tolerate, and that is where the whole thing is coming, right? So Krishna is so beautiful. Wait, I don't want to cover Krishna's face now. So so beautiful that feeling is where you get envy. So now when you feel envious, stop digging into what makes you feel envious and think of Krishna. Automatically the quality will come down. Any negative quality, the best thing you should do is chanting. For instance, I had this quality of fear, right? I used to have fear for everything, no reason why. I may not exhibit it, but deep inside. But I automatically now, I don't have fear. I may pretend to be very bold, but deep inside, I always used to have this fear. And living in fear for no reason is even worse, because at least a reason you can satisfy yourself. Okay, I have a reason. But for no reason is even more horrible, right? But slowly you start doing chanting, all this comes. I've also heard people who are very tempered, tempered to the core. When they talk, you can see the eyes becoming red, and they have told that their anger has come down. So I think you should start chanting, which you already have, I know. Keep increasing as you go, because maximum all of y'all would have done chanting. You just introduced. So max, you all would have done 16 days of chanting, right? As you continue, all this will come down. I hope I have answered the question. Yes or no? If you have any other doubts, you please feel free, to do that. And I just wanted to also tell you that, we have a temple. It's not mandatory, but I just thought, that ISKCON Mangaluru is coming up with the temple. And what's special about this temple is that this is the place. You can see the picture, right? So we managed to get the ground here. Right, and this one is the area which you can see is the temple area, and the entire crew had been there. This is our deities, Shishi Radha Govinda is our deities, and you have any amount of donation you can give. You can sponsor a brick, each brick starting from 1,500. Also, you have different things, like you can sponsor a square feet, where 1 square feet is 5,000. Obviously, 10 square feet is 50,000. You can also be a life pattern, which means that you have a lifetime membership, wherein you get an ID card. You have a 3 days free stay anywhere in the world of ISKCON. And on top of it, you get free Bhagavatam set. The Bhagavatam set itself costs you around 8,000 to 9,000 rupees. It is 18 books of 12 cantos. So that is the amount. And you can even pay it in installments. And, you can have what's called the Dharma Karta Seva, where the cost is 1 lakh and it can be paid over 3 years. And also there is something called Dharma Adhikari Seva. It's 2.7 lakhs, where the name will be mentioned in the gods in the temple. And also you have Mukhya Dharma Adhikari, which is double that, 5.4 lakh for 3 years. Or you can also have what's called the Maha Mukhya Dharma Adhikari, where you get VIP passes, you get a lifetime membership, your name goes on the wall, and all this comes off, right? All these sevas are there. You can even do a one-time monthly seva starting from rupees 500. So the way in which you can pay are also mentioned, and NRI way in which you can do is mentioned. I have shared these details. So if anyone, I would request each one of you to share it with your parents. Please don't force them, but whatever they can, if they're interested to, they can do. So we just thought we'll share it so that you can be a part of the temple construction. Right? So now we have time. So should we go to science and spirituality, or do you want to see Darwin? Okay, let's finish this science and spirituality, because it's hanging, right? So today finish this. Is that fine? And just remind me, I will tell you a story. I also told you yesterday I'm going to tell you a story. Yes, I did, right? So today I'm going to tell you a story of Mrigari after I finish this science and spirituality. Or you want to do the story first? I'll do the story first. Okay. So we've been seeing this mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance, right? Yeah. So I'm going to talk to you this story. You're going to remind me tomorrow. I'm going to tell you a story of what's called Mrigari. Right? Please remind me, because tomorrow it will be apt with the 17th chapter. We will be addressing three modes. So I want you to remind me on, and the name is Mrigari, and I will tell you the story of Mrigari. And now what are we going to do? Science versus spirituality presentation. And before that, one little story of which I found very interesting. So Narada, right? Narada is the biggest devotee of Krishna. He goes to various places in search of, who is the biggest devotee. And as he goes on and on, he never finds out who the greatest devotee is. Very confused because he goes, it's a huge story. I'm skipping the first part. I'm going into the second part. So finally, he identifies Brahma, he goes to Shiva, he goes to everybody, and he is just not able to really locate who the greatest devotee is. Therefore, finally he decides, boss, I don't know. So the best thing I should do is go back to Narayana. So he goes on telling Narayana, Narayana, right? So let me just screen share. So he says, Narayana, Narayana, please tell me who is the greatest devotee, because I have been trying this. I went to hermit, I went to sages, I went to Pandavas, I went to, every person possible, every Devadas. I just can't go, peace and on. So it's very confusing. So now he says, okay, this particular answer for your question, a small worm knows. So you can go ask the worm. So immediately Narada is confused. Narayana, you want me to ask a worm? Okay, I will, because Narayana may be confused, but he will never ever go against the word of Krishna. So immediately he follows Narayana's instruction and goes and sees the worm. As he goes, the worm looks at Narada, and is about to tell, and a bird comes and takes away this and eats it off. So Narada is like, oh my God, my secret has to come now. Just imagine, that your result is going to come. And if the result is going to come in TV and the power failure happens, how will you feel? Oh my Krishna, can you feel it? So imagine Narada's situation. For one power failure itself, we have a heart attack. Imagine this, this Jivan is gone. So he goes back. Narayana, I went there. This worm is gone. What should I do? Oh, Krishna says, okay, no problem. Don't worry. I will tell you, Narada, you go and meet this small little cow, very beautiful calf. So you go and ask, she will be able to guide you. So Narada is very happy. Okay, he says, okay, calf. This is a very cute calf. Isn't this picture also very cute? Right? The calf is just born and it is just coming out and walking. Okay. It is walking slowly towards Narada, and it comes and looks at Narada and dies on spot. Okay. Narada's heart is beating. The heart of the calf stopped, and equally Narada's heartbeat also stopped. Now he's so tensed and he goes back. Narayana, I went to the calf, and what happened? My situation is like really bad. The calf also died. What should I do? Oh, horrible situation. Just 1 second. Hare Krishna. So immediately he says, you don't worry. You don't have to really worry at all. What should I do? You couldn't hear? Okay, I'll unmute. Anjali, can you make me the co-host? Host is shifted onto you, so I can't screen share. Right? So immediately what is happening in the story, he is very confused what to do, and therefore he starts off with Narayana asking where he should go to find the truth as to who is the greatest devotee. So first Narada, spots, and he says, don't worry, you can go and meet the worm. And the worm, what happens? Horrible thing happens, that the worm is dead, right? Now, second chance he says is go and meet the calf. Now, when he meets the calf is also dead. Now, literally, Narayana has no other option. So he's very worried. Narada has no other option. So he comes back to Narayana. Narayana, please advise what I should do. Hare Krishna. Thank you. He says, go meet this prince. The little prince has been born after so many years. You should ask him and he will definitely give the answer. Now the chat is open. I want you all to type, should he go or not? When I first heard the story, my God, my heart was beating. And Narayana is thinking, oh my Krishna, you want me to go see, already 2 tickets gone. And you're asking me to go see a prince, okay, a king's son, who's come after so many years of prayers. Should he even think of going? Now the chat is open. I just want your own opinion, yes or no. And if so, if you say no, it's fine. If you say yes, why? Come on, I want each one of you all to type. I'm going to hold the story till then. Yes or no? Before internet goes off, you have to quickly, you should go, okay, Ritu. So he will follow the instruction. Yes, okay, Acha, I've got all devotees here. So he's going, but his heart is beating, you know, he's so anxious now. Oh my God, Narayana has told I have to go, but let's see the plight. So what happens to that child? He's going, one ticket gone, 2 ticket gone, third. The small baby sees and he is stretching his hand to Narada. Can you see the anxiety of Narada? The Veena which he's holding in technically 2 hands, he's dropped. The child is coming, he's just lending his hand, you know, he wants to hold the child and the child is looking at Narada. Everybody are so anxious, they're all shocked. Oh my God, you know, the child is up and the child looks at Narada and says, hey Narada, welcome. You know, I am so happy you've come and thank you so much. You're such a great devotee. Narada is not able to understand. What? You're just seeing me now. He says, no, I've been seeing you 3 lives. I was born. This is my 3rd life. I was born as a worm. The moment I saw your face, I got liberated. I got upgraded into a calf. And calf is a mode of goodness. And immediately I saw you again and I got liberated. And look at what I am born. I am born as the prince of such a big king. And for someone who really, really wants me here, right? So can you see so much of passion, so much of love? Yes, so he says that ultimately you are the greatest devotee. So you can see this worm transforming into the calf. And the calf is this little boy. Right? So this is a beautiful story of how this transferred. So most of the time, what happens is when we have our things and desires not fulfilled, immediately we react, right? We feel, oh my God, you know, I have to be the main person. I have to be the, you know, the Hall of Fame. But it need not be. It need not be so. There is no mandate that you only or we only have to be the Hall of Fame. So therefore, with that, you know, you know, with this story is on a halt and story is over. I hope you enjoyed the story. The story is on and off. Okay, so the last slide, let me show you again. The last slide, right? This last slide is like this, where, you know, from the worm, right? He got Hare Krishna. So what happens is from the worm, he became the calf, and from the calf he became the prince. So the moment he saw the greatest devotee is Narada, and Narayana wanted him to see. He didn't want to reveal it. Therefore, he wanted to see. Can you see my screen now? You're able to see, right? So the worm gets elevated to a calf, and from the calf to the prince, and it's all because of Narada, because Narada is the greatest devotee. Right? Oh, you can see. Thank you, Ritu. Hare Krishna. So that is the speciality, right? So with this, we end the chapter also, story also. We'll try and see signs of science and spirituality. For that, Vancha Kalpada Rupyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patidana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Now let's dive into science and spirituality. This has a lot of videos, so I will pause recording during then. So science versus spirituality. We saw a lot of things about science, complementing, contradicting and all that. So let's see how this is going hand in glove. In 1873, Darwin said the impossibility of conceiving that this grand and wondrous universe with our conscious selves arose through chance seems to me the chief argument for the existence of God, right? Darwin spoke this. So we will wait, I will pause. So Krishna. So now you will be clear about, what is this 1 by 26 to the power of 30 and all these figures. So many figures keep coming up. I think the visuals are clear. And all these, right? We have the case of the creator. In fact, let me just move on. And there are a lot of videos in this. So what they say is the find gravity. We saw about gravity, a lot of stories. Each of them is a case by itself. So I'm going to stop recording in a while and play videos for you. But information, what requires intelligence is that all of this needs a lot of intelligence, and anyone who's done biology understands how the DNA is forming, right? So technically what they say is, there is this irony, right? Why is this novel hilarious? Because the author whose humor we know is through the book, right? So the author actually represents the humor part, right? And let me just pause video again. Hare Krishna. So this brings us to the end of the 16th chapter, and tomorrow, day after, very important chapters, don't miss. So we will be back to see that. So Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna. Last 3 days, so can we chant 108 times itself, so that, you know, we will be tuned for a 3-day practice for rest of our thing. So can someone chant? I'll stop the recording now. Hare Krishna.